Hello and welcome to Big Talk, live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Adikat Michael. A pleasure to have you join us tonight as we continue to look at the state of the nation. But politically, the People's Democratic Party internal crisis has taken another dramatic turn, just as the party's acting national chairman, Omar Damagun, has rejected February 22nd South Congress that re-elected Chief Dan Obi, a known loyalist of FCT Minister Yusuf Wike. The National Secretary in Abuja, Damagun, the acting national chairman, declared that the Congress was invalid, stating that the tenure of the zonal committee had expired. Let me bring you to what the Damagun said in regards to the South Zonal Congress.
Well, indeed, this is a very important occasion, and I think I want to use this opportunity to tell us that there was no any election as far as this party is concerned in South for zonal Congress. I want to make this clear. Because the tenure of the zonal committee has expired, and we still have few weeks or a month or so to do the zonal congresses, we find it necessary to come up with this caretaker committee. And I believe from your choices, some which I have known and related with, I have no doubt that you will be diligent in your responsibility and usher in the new soon-to-be elected executive committee of the zone. So I enjoin you to be devoid of any partisanship or taking side, to be diligent in the execution of your decision so that we will come up with an all-inclusive executive committee in the zone.
Well, that's the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Damagun, speaking. But before the meeting held, there were a lot of back and forth within the Congress, within the party secretariat. That's really, many have said, was sponsored talks from the Samuel Ayau, the expelled national secretary of the party, which of course has continued to look as dragged the matter now to the courts, subject still for the further jurisdiction coming from the judiciary. But let's get to join a member of the People's Democratic Party to make sense and give us an understanding about some of the resolution from the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party. David Itopa, member of PDP, thanks so much for joining us on the show tonight. A quick one, what happened before the meeting?
Thank you, Michael, and good evening, and also good evening, Nigerians at large. Well, I think it is no longer news. The unfortunate things that played out yesterday before the end of this year of the PDP met the party's national secretariat in Kodata Plaza. I mean, it's so unfortunate that vested interests and certain persons who believe that they are bigger than the party will now descend so low to start sponsoring talks and touts to attack party members, party leaders alike in the national secretariat of the party, which is supposed to be the sacred temple, so to speak, of the People's Democratic Party. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and then every good-meaning Nigerians must begin to condemn such dastardly acts, because any attack on political offices is probably, I would like to say, it's a desecration of our national democracy, and then it must be condemned in the strongest terms possible. And so, having said that, it was alleged that the sacked former National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party Senator Samuel Memekayanwu, sponsored talks to attack and disrupt the sitting of the NWC at the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, Wadata, yesterday. And then thankfully, I must commend the security operatives of Nigeria to having quickly nipped the problem in the bud. I mean, they were swift and decisive yesterday. In fact, as a matter of fact, I would like to say that the party staff also, contributed largely to arresting the ugly situation because it could have been something else. But the party staffs were brave enough and bold enough to resist the shenanigans of these talks. I mean, we must commend their bravery and their steadfastness in upholding the sanctity of the PDP. We must give it to them. So that's basically what played out yesterday before the end of this meeting held.
Let me take you towards the Zonal Congress. That was also a matter of concern at that meeting as well. The Damagum-led chairmanship has said that the South-South Zonal Congress is invalid. What can you say about that? Also owing to the fact that it's a move, the Congress, also a move for the party to reconcile and also put the party on track.
Well, for me personally, I like to say that this is about one of the right things that acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Ambassador Ilyasu Umar Damagum, has done or said right since his assumption of office as in acting capacity, so to speak. I mean, this is about probably one of the first things they have done right, in my opinion, and of course, not just my opinion, the public opinions and onlookers and members of the People's Democratic Party who have always stood for sanctity and also promoted that the right things be done in the party. I mean, so I commend him for that. And then let me quickly also alert Nigerians that look, it is only the National Working Committee of the party that's enshrined in the People's Democratic Party's constitution that has the power to decide when is the zonal congress of the party, be it North Central, be it South East, be it South, zone at all. It is national. It is the NWC that gives the guideline, that gives the approval for such. And then if the NWC in its wisdom have not given such approval and guidelines, I see no reason why anybody should gather some of his friends in a beer parlor or a birthday party and then decide that, oh, look, we are holding the South Congress or North Central Congress or whatever Congress, zonal Congress of the party as it were. I mean, it is clearly against the provision of the party and clearly an affront on the leadership of the party and also undermining the powers of the NWC, undermining the entire political structure of the People's Democratic Party. Because if we allow such to stand, and that's where I speak to the courage of Ambassador Ilyasu Damagum, because if we allow such to stand, it means these urchins can gather themselves somewhere in the backyard and tell you they are hosting a national congress somewhere. And then it will be binding on the party. So everything we do in this party has to go in accordance to the letters and spirit of our constitution. I mean, so that is it. So Damagum coming out to say that, look, as far as the party is concerned, no South Congress has been approved. I mean, that is just being factual, and then speaking the truth to power, as it were. So whoever thinks he can gather his friends to a tea party or a beer parlor charade and think you can, impose it on the party, is dead on arrival, clearly. Is dead on arrival.
The party are not having it difficult to resolve the internal conflict and strengthens unity because some members of your party, including some senators like Senator Ned Walker of Delta State, has defected, starting instances and concern about the internal issues within your party. It's clearly the party not really bothered about all of this move, owing to the fact that politicians again are already making moves to other political parties. Are you afraid that if PDP does not resolve all of the crises that they have, the party may become very empty before 2027 politics?
I like to start by saying that you see, politicians will always give you reasons. They will always manufacture reasons to cross carpet and then move to where suits their interests. Yeah, politicians will always say that. Now, it is clear that there is actually crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party. We don't have to bamboozle each other with words about that. It's all over, it's everywhere. But what the party is not going through is that the party does not have true leadership, because that is the provisions of the electoral law upon which any sitting senator or lawmaker can decide to cross carpet and move to the other aisle. But as far as the party is concerned, yes, the party is in crisis, but it doesn't mean we have leadership crisis, because as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, we still have just one national acting chairman, even though we are asking him to vacate that seat and allow for the people of North Central to complete the tenure of Senator Yocha Ayu. Yes, and there is also that fact. But as far as I'm concerned, and as far as Nigerians know, I don't think we have any other person that is claiming to be a chairman of the People's Democratic Party. So on that basis, I would like to say clearly that look, politicians will manufacture any stories they want to manufacture to make sure that they move to the other eye where it suits their interest. And that is one. And then saying that by 2027 that the party might become empty and then run on an empty what do I call it, an empty house to the 2027 elections. I would like to disagree with that. As far as the PDP is concerned, I would like you to understand that the party is clearly one of the parties that is rooted to every nook and cranny of Nigeria. As far as the party is concerned, because the PDP is probably one of the only party that has the structures across board.
You are the
There is
verge of
nowhere you
losing
go to.
out
They have,
Rivers State.
the last time I checked, Shimilala Ifubara is still a bona fide PDP member. So I do not understand what you mean by we are on the verge of losing River State. How? If I may
APC
ask.
and PDP are on the same
How?
bed now in Rivers State. Are you bothered? Because there are those that are having a concern that the pro-Wike lawmakers are doing the bid of Wike. If in fact it means that Wike decide to defect today to APC, that these lawmakers will join him to APC. They're already threatening an impeachment towards the governor.
Let me tell you, Michael. Yes, we all know, we have seen the handwriting on the wall. Minister Yeson Wike seems to be playing the cards of the APC. He seems to be dancing towards the Bola Ahmed Tinubu APC and all that. But until now, I think he hasn't made his stance known. So we can still decide, we can still refer to him as a PDP member. So why not wait till he's finally defects to the APC, and then we can now properly call him an APC member. For now, I think he's paddling two canoes at the same time. Now let me also remind Nigeria that the procedures involved in impeaching elected a democratically elected governor is too cumbersome. And I doubt if they can pull that stunt off. I will really, really be surprised if they can pull that stunt off. So for me, I think what Siminala Ifubara should do at the moment is to sue for peace. That is what I think. He should give peace a chance. Even though I know that from day one he has tried everything humanly possible to give peace a chance. But our brother on the other side, with his two canoe, has decided that no, peace will not reign. But I still do not believe that the PDP is going to lose River State. No, it's not. The PDP is not going to lose River State as far as I'm concerned. And at the end of the day, I want to believe that Sasimila Efubara, with the backing of the PDP, is going to emerge victorious. So I disagree with what you just said, that we are about to lose River State. That's not going to work out. And then as for your committee, let us wait till we defect to the APC properly. Then we can now address issues as it were.
All right. I mean, when former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir Rufai, was asked, where we all heard about his move and anger towards the All Progressive Congress, he was asked if he probably may join the People's Democratic Party. He described your party, PDP, as a dead party, and now he has already taken moves to join the Social Democratic Party. One may say that it looks that the party is losing popularity or sense of attraction to gathering more members within.
That is El-Rufai's, with much respect to his person, that is El-Rufai's opinion. and then he has every right, 100% so right to his opinion. But does the opinion count? Doesn't mean that the People's Democratic Party is a dead party. No, they are in crisis. It doesn't mean that the party is dead. Now, let me give you one very analogy here. Personally, I do not eat pasta. If you give me pasta, I would like to say that, oh, it's disgusting. Sorry, mind my language, but I'm just trying to draw an analogy. I might say it's disgusting. But does that mean that pasta is disgusting to every other person? No, it doesn't. So these are the issues. Erufai's opinion towards the People's Democratic stems from his own opinion on probably how he views the People's Democratic Party, from the angle upon which he is viewing the party. But clearly, Nigerians do not view the party in such light. So for me, I think his opinion doesn't hold water when it comes to the People's Democratic Party. Like I said earlier, the PDP is one party that is rooted across the nook and crannies of Nigeria. So we are going to wait, and then it is just time. The party is going to weather this crisis, and we are going to emerge stronger. I can tell you that.
All right, of course, we will continue to monitor all of that development. But just before I'll let you go, what is still your assessment about this administration? The government said we are on the right direction under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. That is what APC and, of course, the presidency are saying. Do you share that sentiment?
I clearly think President Bola Tinubu is not in touch with that reality on ground. I mean, he should walk, he lives in Abuja, he should walk to Wuse Market or Utako Market and ask the average Nigerian what he feels about the Nigerian economy and the living condition of Nigeria. It is one thing. You can decide to stay in the cozy environment of the villa with all the views, the glitz and glams and the protection, and then you say that Nigeria is getting better. I mean, that is clearly, I don't think he's in touch. In fact, I'm not thinking, I know clearly that President Bola Tinubu is not in touch with realities on ground. Nigerians have never had this talk, and it is upon this governance, and it's killing Nigerians on a daily. In fact, the other day I was just reading that about 126 million Nigerians have been pushed down below the poverty level. How can Tinubu tell Nigerians, same Nigerians, that his policies are working, and then the Nigerians are beginning to see results? If anything, the results Nigerians are seeing are catastrophic. The results Nigerians are seeing is the fact that they can no longer speak 3 times daily. The results Nigerians are seeing is that they can no longer have access to cheap and affordable quality health care. If anything, the results Nigerians are seeing are that Nigerians are now at the mercy of bandits, criminal elements, and what have you. So for me, the president is clearly out of tune. He's out of tune with reality completely. And then this is the thing about governance. You will always hire people who I call hallelujah boys that will come and sing your praises and tell you that, look, you are the next best thing after Agege bread. There is no way such leader is going to attain success in the office. If everybody around you are not able to tell you the truth, even just one person, I see them everywhere, even on social media, I see them coming to say one thing, and at the other, when you try to juxtapose it with the reality on ground, they are in complete contrast to each other. They are variants completely. So why do you think Nigeria should take President Bola Tinubu seriously? At best, he's just playing to the gallery, and then trying to have something to say to Nigerians to comfort Nigerians. But I can tell you, as someone who has his ears to the ground, that Nigeria has lost hope completely. It is a hopeless situation. And Nigerians are just waiting by the special grace of God for 2027 so that we can use the power of the tongue to flush out these people who do not even understand what it takes to govern Nigeria, who do not understand what it takes to make the average Nigerians happy. I mean, these things are not evident. You can just go to the street and then take a sample of 10 persons and see and hear what they have to say to you. Well, Mr. President is clearly out of tune as far as I'm concerned. He's not in touch with reality.
All right. David Topa, you're from Kogi State. I probably would also want to know the reaction because the matter concerning one of your senators you had sent to the National Assembly from Kogi Central has continued to be a matter of concern. Some of your indigenes of your state are saying that they are disappointed about the outburst of the senator. Are you condemning the actions, or do you feel that the Senate were unfair to Senator Natasha?
For me, as someone who have worked in the National Assembly, in who had at least an experience in the National Assembly, and then also understand the workings of the National Assembly, I do not think the leadership of the National Assembly is unfair to the senator. Because if you look at clearly what happens, but I just it boils down to the question of character, and they're not even understanding the business of the National Assembly. And then you see Nigerians everywhere jumping all over the place saying, "Oh, Akpabio this." I do not hold brief for Senator Akpabio. I mean, I am a PDP member and I am loyal to my party, but it doesn't mean if I see truth, I should call them something else because I want to be politically correct. No. What transpired that day, as we all watched, was just unfortunate. And then I think the senator ought to have kept her emotions in check because we all know that the standing rules of the National Assembly do not, permit a senator or a lawmaker, so to speak in a seat that has not been assigned to he or she. So that was clearly where the senator erred. And then I feel that this whole thing, this whole drama could have been avoided by going to your seat and then stand on the other 10 of privileges and then make your case. And then from there, would have been able to say, okay, fine. You have followed the standing rules of the National Assembly, and then the Senate leadership decided to return to you. I think we will stand for you. But you clearly violated the standing rules of the National Assembly. And then except you want to say that, okay, rules are meant for some persons, and then some persons should, it can also damn the consequences and break the rules. No. If Nigeria must work, everybody must be on deck. And that's what we are saying. I do not subscribe to the people that say, oh, the leadership of the Senate was unfair to that senator. No, I do not subscribe to that because you clearly erred, and then you have to face the consequences of erring.
All right, David Itopa, a member of People's Democratic Party. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on Big Talk. We do hope that all of these matters, of course, within the PDP, will be resolved amicably. And what we have always heard of some Togri taking over the party may not be the situation again next time NWC are meeting at the Secretariat.
Hopefully, you can take my words to the bank. Hopefully.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, everyone, we'll be turning our attention just after this break to the call and the concern about the Southern presidency. The Northern coalition is gathering momentum, and of course, many are now looking at what happens. Should the South complete the 8 years of government, or rather, should the rotations now be shifted to the North? There are a lot of deliberations, and we'll be joined by an elder statesman of this country who will be giving us an insight on all of this development just after this break. Please stay with us. I'll be right back.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Policies and political actors are in the news every day, all day. And on our part, we guide you through the noise and get you to the heart of the matter. Big Talk is your home of all-angle analysis of the top political stories. Airing weekdays on Global TV, 7 p.m. Big Talk, engaging and insightful. And now the call for the Southern presidency and the North is still a major deliberations across the country. And joining us tonight is the former Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State and a member of the 9th National Assembly, Senator Christopher Ekwenyo, joins us from the capital of Akwa Ibom State, Uyo. Thanks so much, distinguished, for joining us on the program. Very quickly, there are a lot of concern about the Northern presidency or the Southern presidency. What has been your concern and review of all of these calls?
Well, my dear brother, and I'm so glad hearing about your listening to your television this evening. Yeah, you just let me straight to the question you have asked, Southern President or Northern President. Yes, indeed. I was the proponent of a Northern President at the stage. But when everybody now said the glamour for a political change, when we came into power in 1999, we zoned that wherever in that is in the PDP that I belong to, as at then and now, that was why the president came from the south in person of President Obasanjo. And after that, it went to President Yar'Adua, which incidentally answered a clarion call, and his deputy stepped up and became the acting president, and then of course confirmed by the National Assembly as it were, the president, and then he contested the election for 4 years, and he was granted by Nigerians to serve another 4 years, added to the 2 years of his predecessor, which he was the vice president, and so that of course, in a way, would have ended. There is President Buhari came up with a mantra that he cannot continue because he had wanted to continue. And the Northern Bloc said no, led by El-Rufai and the rest of them, led by Senator Bukola Saraki, and they all left the political party that made them what they had been. And they supported the Northern President in the person of President Buhari. By the special grace of God, that presidency in this time came to President Ahmed Tinubu in the south. And of course, he did not even come to this area. He went to the southwest. As you well remember, I knew that in the 1999 it was President Obasanjo, so he went to the southwest again. And so this time around, it is not issue. We are not following that dictum. We are following a different convention. The person who has spent 8 years, and this person has spent 4 years, so he must be allowed to spend his 8 years too, because President Buhari spent 8 years, and the agitation was that Jordan should not have done more than 4 years because it was the turn of the Northerners. But the convention changed. So for me, the Northerners agitating for a shift of the presidency, I think is abnormal. They have to wait for another 4 years until the next President Tinubu finishes 8 years, and then we commence another convention. That's the way I believe.
All right, so let me take you towards the reforms of this government, the removal of subsidy, the subsidy removal, and the concern about all of the reforms taken by this government have also been a deliberation. Do you feel that their government are on the right track in setting Nigeria's economy and development?
Well, because we never had a presidential candidate from the PDP who win. We had thought the Northerners also wanted to be a president in 2023, but they never succeeded. And President Tinubu came up on board and changed the philosophy of Nigeria, the reasoning of Nigerians, by ensuring that the subsidy that people were using to cut away resources of the poor to other nations of the world and leaving the poor to be poorer, no more middle class. So we had to remove it at the time of his inauguration on the 29th of May, 2023. And so we have been going with that as of now. A lot of things have taken place, and for those of us who are, pundits, we have seen that there have been, a change in the economy, and that those people who were cutting away a subsidy are no more cutting away the subsidy, and that it has given the emergence for private refineries such as that of what do you call it, Dangote refineries and other refineries that has emerged. The issue is for the NNPC to give them the raw material for them to process the PMS and other ancillary items for Nigerians. So that's one achievement that President Tinubu must have achieved. And then other things that he has reformed, the reformation that has gone on, aside the issue of subsidy, and mind you that he has given a lot of resources to states, and states are actually competing in terms of development and empowering of their people to ensure that poverty was reduced at the grassroots. For instance, like in Akwa Ibom here, the Governor Mano has been doing excellently well. 2 days ago, he was giving out vehicles, minibuses, and other vehicles for people who want to take on to Oba. And then giving physical resources, money, in terms of from 150,000 to about 500,000 to 5 million, and all others. So I think, and then of course, rejuvenating agriculture, which is very important. We've been talking about the inflation in the past, but even though inflation is still a little bit high, but one could see there's light at the end of the tunnel, because there have been a lot of clamor that people should return to the farm, agriculture, to take the pride of place. Without that, inflation will be high, no matter what we do. If we continue to remain on the issue of exchanging dollars and pounds and selling to one another. So I think President Tinubu, even though he's not my party member, I happen to know him when I was a deputy governor, 1999 then on, and he was the governor of Lagos State. I think he's doing well for the country.
All right, let me take you towards local government autonomy, because those that are having a concern, the government, through the Supreme Court, granted financial autonomy to the local government. But some persons are still holding different opinion towards that. And there raises questions about the capacity of the local government. I've also raised this question of administrative autonomy. Do you feel that granting financial autonomy to the local government will resolve all of the crises and the problems we have at the grassroots?
Well, it is one thing for the Supreme Court. I know the Supreme Court happened to be the apex, judiciary, body of the nation, and they had granted, the rule that there should be autonomy of local government. That we had clamored, even in the Akwa Ibom here when I was deputy governor to Governor Ota, we were thinking that local government should be given autonomy, and we were giving out resources in accordance with the provision of constitutions. Section 162 or 164 of the Constitution provide that, states should provide at least 10% of their IGR to support the local government from the resources that come from the center. But in most cases, some states or semi-states just cut away everything. They consume the IGR, 10% IGR that they produce in their different states. They also consume the money that comes from the federal government to the local government. And so by leaving the local government, going on in cap, breaking, no activities, no development. Take for instance in our own local government that I founded in 1996. I thought I would speedily develop to catch up with other local government that have been in existence in the past. But as it were, nothing. So if, for me, the local government autonomy will, depending on who is at the helm of affair and knows the modus operandi of what he wants to do, that he can also develop the local government. Because it is only local government, development of local government will now showcase the development of the state. If you go to civilized democracies such as America and even Britain, that we are copying, Britain is running a parliamentary democracy, America is running a presidential democracy. But I think, like I resided in Houston, I know that Houston has their own, is a local government on its own, is a county of its own, county, Harris, have Harris County, and they have Houston as, as a capital. But then, they have the different facets of things. In terms of security, they also have their own security. In terms of roads, they have their own divine roads, which they do. But here in Nigeria, I don't see no government that he can point at any road that he or she has been able to do. Either as a chairman or members of his council must have directed that certain roads should be done. And when we were young men, no government, we had never knew whether they were phenomenons or not. But then they were really mending roads. They were providing scholarships to indigenous students. They were building markets. But take, for instance, your own local government where you come from, and I. When I was in the Senate, I built a market, 360 stores. And then the local government took it over. After I finished building, I then hand over to somebody and say,
all right, of course, we'll continue to get that audio restoration back. Reaction towards some of the administration's reformation of this government of President Bola Tinubu, which is still a major concern. And of course, I was speaking with the former deputy governor of Akwa Ibom and the member of the 9th National Assembly, extracted the concern about the call of the 2027, the concern about some of the reformations of this administration. Are they really getting it right? For now, we'll go on a very quick break, everyone. And once we return, we're wrapping up the conversation on the program. Just stay with us.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Many thanks everyone for still staying with us on the program. I still have with us Senator Chris Ekpenyong, the former deputy governor of Akwa Ibom State and a member of the 9th National Assembly. Just before I let you go, we're looking at, of course, the negotiation concerning regional development. This government has now created a new ministry to be in charge of looking at some regional developments. All of that probably may be an effort by this government to get development to the grassroots. How better ways can this work?
It's a welcome idea by the president and President Tinubu to have created regional governments. Initially, remember that we had only NDC in the South. That was made through the Act of the Parliament in 2000, in 2000 or 2001. But now that it has converted that nearly all regions, there used to be geopolitical zones, have become a regional entity. It's a welcome thing because they've appointed the National Assembly is tourism as the president has nominated people and the National Assembly has confirmed for each of the geopolitical zones to go back and take development to the grassroots. That showcases that schools will be developed, roads will be developed. What next they should do is to go into power generation. Now that the federal government, during the 9th Senate, we're able to make sure we segregated, we ensure that states could produce up to 100 megawatts of electricity, transmit it and distribute. And so if every state take that opportunity in generating power and then transmitting and distributing, then we know industrialization will take place. This one we are talking about industry, the industries that we used to have after independence, before independence, and after independence, and then First Republic and Second Republic have all collapsed. That's why you have massive unemployment in the country. Take, for instance, the Kaduna textiles, Kano textiles, the Aba textiles. Take, for instance, in Akwa Ibom, where you used to have the Kazemco, Cross River, Kazemco, and even We never had much in Akwa Ibom anyway, or many things to showcase, because most of the things the preceding government had sold off all that did in the militaries, like the battery industry, the quality ceramic is moribund now in Akwa Ibom. So all those who provide employment opportunities to the teeming population, the youth, the female youth, the male youth. And now that the governor is, advocating for the establishment of a deep state for which we started in the regime of Aja, I think it's all through welcome issue. So the regional government, entities that are formed by President Turumbu is a welcome, development. It will aid in speedy development and the position of the Nigerian nation.
All right, lastly, as an elder statement, a concern towards Rivers State is drawing a lot of attention. The House of Assembly, even the FCT minister, they're already threatening impeachment of the governor. What would be your advice? The other day, Pandev were at also Villa to meet with the president in respect to all of these matters as well.
I don't know why there is a fight in Rivers State. I am enamored to Rivers State in the sense that in my growing up period, it was Rivers State. I went through the primary school, Rivers State, secondary school, Rivers State. So I am praying for them to go back and then, reconcile themselves and allow peace to reign and development. For me, I've been watching Governor Simba Fobra commissioning many roads, commissioning hospitals, commissioning, other infrastructures. And then the former governor did his best for 8 years. He said he was building high flyovers. He built 12 flyovers for 8 years. But then, because when I was living in 9th, most of my classmates were calling me for aid. And I was asking the governor, Wike has been doing a lot. Why can't you say, these are things we won't do, because like you are in the television now, the media is also one of those people responsible for the downturn in the economy, in the democratic process of the development. Because the governor will tell them they have done this, they have done this. They don't want to go inside. Go to the interland and investigate whether the governor has taken development down to the grassroots, down to their people. So, for me, I'm pleading with the people of Rivers State to give peace a chance. Now that even Governor Fubra has said that he's going to respect the ruling of the Supreme Court, they should allow him. Yesterday, I wept. I wept for Rivers State. The governor went. I was a member. I started my life in the lower parliament in Cross River State in 1982, 83, before it was disrupted by military intervention. He went to present his budget, which they have been clamoring for, and they locked the gate. I mean, the respect is reciprocal. They must also respect the governor, and the governor must also respect the legislature. That's what I should think of. It's a game of give and take. They should not be highliners. The members of the House of Assembly should not be highliners because they've been restored by the Supreme Court.
Of course, the voice and, of course, the contribution of former Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Senator Christopher Ekpeyon. Thanks so much for joining us on the show tonight. We do hope to have you again on national issues.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Of course, there are a lot of concerns towards the politics of Rivers State, and the matters on how all of that is well managed is still a major concern. We'll continue to monitor developments right there from Rivers and bring you to speed about that development. But what matters, of course, to the speech of the governor is that he has been calling for peace talk. Earlier the week, he had invited the lawmakers for the meetings in order for him to chart a way forward in resolving all of that concern. We're, of course, monitoring to see how that works. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us on the show tonight. This is where we draw the curtain. My name is Adikan Michael. See you again.